I also Kung Fu Panda 4 watched it on Saturday, so I'm telling you, bro, they should not have made this movie. I said the exact thing when I was watching the trailer, like, why? We don't need this. Just keep it at 3. It was great. Just keep it at that. But sadly, we are in that era right now where we just need all of these, pointless part 4, part 5, and spin offs, and, the part 2 of the spin offs, all these mindless. Cash grabs. That's literally what this movie is. They didn't care about this movie at all. This movie was like it was not a Kung Fu Panda movie, okay? It was more like a spin-off movie for the Fox character. That, and also I felt like this was like a movie that was not made for the theater. It was more like for TV. You know how on some of the cartoon channels they have like those short movies or shows that are based on like Kung Fu Panda or How to Train Your Dragon. So this really felt like something that was made for TV and not for the theater. Literally, because I have seen those TV movies that are based on these these IPs, and I was like, watching this movie, I was like, this is something that was made for TV, not for cinema at all. So I don't know, bro. This movie just felt really stupid. Plus, this movie should not even be called Kung Fu Panda because Po was not even the main character of the movie. That Fox was. This random fox that they just introduced for I don't know whatever reason. This was the Fox's movie. That Fox had more character growth in the movie than Po. Like Kung Fu Panda, but Po had no growth at all. All right. So another thing is this movie was just basically like the extended version of the trailer. Like usually trailers they don't show too much, right? They just like let you know what you need to know about the movie, and then when you watch the movie, then there's like more to it. But this movie, not exactly. Literally everything you need to know, it's already in the trailer. Like you're just watching an hour and a half version of the trailer. Like they said in the trailer that in this movie, Poe needs to find a replacement for the Dragon Warrior. That's it. That's the plot. Nothing else. That's it. That's literally the plot. And in the trailer itself, it was already predictable who was going to end up the Dragon Warrior. And literally everything is already in the trailer itself. Nothing else happens. All right. It was so stupid, yo. I don't even want to consider this movie canon. Let's just keep 1, 2, 3 separate. They didn't even try to do anything with this movie. I'll say this, all right? So look, the good parts of the movie is they kept a lot of the Kung Fu Panda movie elements, okay? The action stuff was great. The comedy was great, and the animation and the way they do the fights and stuff, like the animation for the fights or the transitions, that was one of the things I liked about the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. Some of the transitions, those were great, and the animation when the fights was happening, all of those stuffs were great. But this movie is just pointless. Why? Like, no, nobody wants to see Kung Fu Panda, but then Po was like the side character, like this movie was 100% a spin-off story for the Fox. Like they showed how the Fox was struggling as when it was young, and how it was adopted by the main villain, the Chameleon, and then how eventually the Fox was sent by the Chameleon to basically be friends with Po to steal the staff Oogway gave him. And then it showed how the Fox like eventually becomes a good person and eventually ends up to be the Dragon Warrior. Like that was the plot of the movie. For like it was the Fox's movie. Po was just there. They really made Po the side character in his own movie, bro. It was so stupid. And all the other like characters from the previous like Kung Fu Panda movies, like they I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like Master Shifu, for example, right? Master Shifu, he didn't really play the mentor role that he had in the previous movies, right? In this movie, literally every time we see Shifu and Po in the same frame, It was just for Shifu to tell Po that, hey, you need to find a replacement. You need to find a replacement to be the Dragon Warrior because you are supposed to be, Uguay's successor, not the Dragon Warrior anymore. Literally, the only thing those two talk about is that. They don't talk about anything else. Almost like they were pushing it. Like they were pushing, like, Poe needs to give up the mantle of Dragon Warrior. They were really pushing it. He's not even like he needs to like figure it out himself or whatever. Like they were really pushing that. Hey, you got to give it up. And every time him and Shifu was on frame, that's literally the only thing they spoke about. And Shifu wasn't even in the movie for that long. So yeah, Furious 5, 100% not in the movie at all. Or technically they were, but in the credits. They only appeared in the credits. When the credits started to roll, that's when Poe was like, hey, I got a few friends who would train or something. And that's when they appeared. I'm telling you, bro, this is those TV movies that they just released in theaters. It's so stupid. Oh, man. Hey, look, also, the Chameleon, all right, this is the villain. They didn't even try. They didn't even try to make the villain different. This villain was literally a mix between the last three villains, all right? So the Chameleon, she wanted to be a master of Kung Fu, somebody who's really good at Kung Fu, aka Tai Lung. And then she like went to all of these like places to steal all the metals so she could make like these sorcery cages, aka Lord Shen, because he stole all the metal. And also she wanted to like I don't know, make her empire bigger, which is literally what Lord Shen was doing. He was stealing all the metal and stuff to make the weapons, and then he wanted to make his empire bigger. And then General Kai, where she was able to literally steal like the kung fu abilities from the previous masters and stuff, and also she could turn into other people. So they basically just merged Tai Lung, Lord Shen, and General Kai into one person, aka the Chameleon. They didn't even try to make her different. They just merged, put all three of them in a blender, and came up with the Chameleon. Also, those who are expecting Tai Lung to do some shit in the movie, don't even. He has like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes screen time, and that's including when the Chameleon was changed into Tai. I mean, the Chameleon didn't even change into Tai Lung for that long. For like in the beginning, that was like a few seconds, like less than a minute. She was changed as Tai Lung, and then later on in the ending, when she was fighting Po, she changed into Tai Lung just for a while. That's it. And then the real Tai Lung was not even on screen for that long either. And why did they make all of these villains a good guy all of a sudden? It don't make sense. Especially since the first thing Tai Lung did when he came into the real world was he complimented Po. He was like, I forgot what was the first line he said, but he ended with like, Master Oogway would not have chosen wrongly. I mean, like, are you serious? This is literally, Po is literally the guy that you tried to end because Oogway chose him over you, and now you're like, oh, Oogway would not have chosen wrong. What? Who directed this movie? Do you know the reason why Tai Lung wanted to like fight Po in the first place? Because Oogway chose Po over him, and now Tai Lung is like, no, Oogway would not have chosen wrong. What? Oh god, bro, this is so stupid. Like, I get like they could have done one of those like the enemy of my enemy is a friend thing, but that's different. But literally, as soon as Tai Lung stepped into the real world, that's the first thing he did. He was like, "Oh, I know Master Oogway would not have chose wrong. Po is a." Why is he complimenting him, bro? Same thing as Lord Shen and General Kai, bro. Lord Shen did more damage to Po than anyone, and he literally bowed to Po. Like Shen and also General Kai, they didn't say a word. No dialogues came from them at all. Only Tai Lung was the one who was talking. So I don't know. I understand that like the Chameleon took all of their kung fu, and then Po restored it. But does that really change everything that happened though? I don't know. I don't know, bro. This movie, I have no clue what to say. And I actually read that they were planning to do part 5 and 6. It's so stupid. God. Although, like I said, this movie is not completely bad, but just when it comes to the story, they really made like Po the side character in his own movie, where we did not see any growth from Po. By the way, no growth whatsoever. We only saw a lot of growth from the fox, which I was like, why? Nobody cares. This is Kung Fu Panda. Why are you focusing on another character's growth while also making the main character of the movie a side character? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say, really. They should have just left at 3, all right? Kung Fu Panda trilogy was one of like the best trilogies. You know, the story was great. Like in every Kung Fu Panda movie, we saw some kind of growth. Po discovering something, you know, like in the first movie, he trained to be like a, you know, kung fu master. Kung Fu Panda 2, he had to like know find out what happened to his family and all the pandas, and you know he kind of accepted and stuff. And then Kung Fu Panda 3, he became like a master of chi and stuff. This movie, nothing. All they said was like, Po, you need to find a replacement. Po, you need to find a replacement. You need to find a replacement. You need to take Uguay's place. But they don't actually show it. They don't actually show like what Po has to do to like really come to Uguay's place. You know, like yeah, Uguay chose him to be his successor, but he also chose him to be the Dragon Warrior. But we actually saw what he like, the things that he did to become the Dragon Warrior. So same like that, Uguay did choose him as his successor. So we could have seen like Po do something to actually prove that, hey, you know what, like to actually, you know, be Uguay's successor, you know what I mean? So they didn't actually do any of that because they were too busy focusing on this fox. I can't, bro. I can't. But this is not a completely bad movie though. You could watch it for like entertainment purposes, for like I said earlier, like the animation stuff was great, fights was great, comedy was good. So I could watch it. I could watch this movie for that reason alone. But you just want to see for like the character or getting invested in the characters. Nah, don't bother. All right, Tai Lung was brought back for. I feel like all of those like Tai Lung, Lord Shen, General Kai coming back was all for just like a nostalgia bait. You know, they just put them in the trailer to make people excited, but they were barely there. Bro, I don't know. Just stop, all right? Please do not make more Kung Fu Panda movies. Leave it at 3. I honestly don't want to consider this movie canon for this reason alone. Like, I don't know. They should just like keep this as one of those TV movies because that's what it felt like watching this movie. So, anyways, that is all for Kung Fu Panda 4. If you have seen this movie, comment down below what you thought about the movie. Yeah, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more movie reviews like this. Till next time, take care. Goodbye.